Sometimes your organizing style just really doesn't matter. I know my life's work is helping people identify their organizing style so they can get organized for good, but the truth is there's a lot of spaces in your home where it's just like, who cares? Having a different organizing style doesn't make that big of a difference. But there are 5 spaces where your organizing style totally matters, and we're starting in your entranceway. Not the entranceway that your guests come in, but where you enter your home. And it matters what your organizing style is because this space gets junky and cluttered and messy real fast. It's because you're kicking off your shoes and you're dropping your keys and your wallet and your kids with their backpacks. And if you don't know your organizing style or you don't have the right system, it's a big old pile on the floor. So here's the thing. If you're a butterfly, if you're a bee and you're visual, you need hooks. You need to be able to come in and hang up your keys, hang up your coat, hang up your backpack, or have a shallow tray for you to just drop in your keys, glasses, all the things that you would usually put down on a surface. And if you're hidden, it's really important that you still have storage, but that it doesn't look like clutter. So I love this shoe organizer for just dropping things in fast. If you're not a detailed person, let's get real about shoe clutter. Opening up a closet door and putting them on a shoe rack is just never gonna happen. So opt for things like a cubby that you can kick them into, or a big basket that your family can literally kick them into. And if you're super visual, take the closet door off. I know it looks a little cluttery, but it's way better than just having everything in front of the closet door. Not only can your bathroom help diagnose your organizing style, but it's also one of the most important spaces to organize based on how you naturally organize your stuff. So if you have bathroom products all over your counter, you're probably a visual person. But instead of trying to force yourself to put it away, knowing your style means that you can have visual systems. So go ahead and get yourself floating shelves or shelves that attach right to the mirror so you can get things off the counter but still have it really visual. I also love turntables, Lazy Susan, tiered trays. There's so many options for you to organize in a visual way that doesn't feel like clutter. And if you're like me and you're a ladybug or a butterfly and you're not a detailed person, don't bother with like a super detailed system for your bathroom products. You literally need to be able to chuck it in and shut the door. So having things like a get ready basket is really important. One big basket that has all the products you use to get ready in the morning. You can have one for at night and pull that out, get ready, drop everything back in, and you only have one thing to put away. This is perfect for that laid back organizer that doesn't do details. But if you are a bee or a cricket, go ham in the bathroom, friends. Get yourself all the little stacking bins and containers and pullouts because you use the bathroom all the time, multiple times a day. You have to have the right organizing system in order to keep it tidy. Workspaces are another spot that you definitely want to know your natural organizing style before you organize because they otherwise will always be chronically messy. And your workspaces can include your office, maybe it's a garage, a craft spot, any place where you tinker, where you do stuff, where you use lots of little different tools. And why it's important to know your style is if you're visual, for instance, you probably tend to spread and leave things out. So using organizing systems like pegboards, so you can have a spot that's really visual to put things down, hanging your tools up on a pegboard, whether it's craft tools or tools in the garage. This is so critical for visual organizers, and it's a must-have for keeping spots really functional, really organized, and always tidy. It's also important to know what kind of organizer you are when it comes to how you store. Are you detailed or are you not detailed? If you're a ladybug like me, you don't want to mess around with lots of little containers where you have to sort because ladybugs and butterflies, we just don't do that. If something's hard to put away, we're just going to put it down. So go ahead and get yourself big containers where you can literally just dump in different categories. So if it's kids crafts, all the pom-poms and the pipe cleaners and all the kids crafts all just go together in one bin. Don't take time to sort in lots of little categories. First of all, it will never stay that way. And second of all, it's just a recipe for disaster down the road. Less organized is what you need. For your office or your desk area, it is definitely important to know your style because if you're visual, you want your everyday things to be out and accessible in like a desktop organizer like this. But honestly, I recommend not keeping it on your desk. Get a little cabinet or a shelf close by to always keep your work surfaces clear, but still have this type of stuff really easily accessible. And if you're like me and you're a hidden organizer, make sure you give yourself drawer dividers so you can, like, you're done with a pen, you just toss it in and shut the door. It catches your clutter. This is why knowing your style is so important. You have to have visual storage if you're visual and hidden storage if you're hidden. Of all the things you can organize in your home, paper is the most critical when it comes to your organizing style. Like, you have to know your style in order to efficiently organize your paperwork. Here's the thing. If you're like me and you're a ladybug or a butterfly, which means you're a really laid back organizer, you don't do details. You're not going to use a filing cabinet. You're not going to use a system where you have to stop and think before you put away a piece of paper. You're just going to shove it in a drawer or leave it in a pile for later. And this is why it's amazing to embrace the right organizing system for you. So I have like short-term and long-term bins where I literally just toss papers when I'm done with them. And on the bottom it's January, then February, then March. So it's kind of like filing. Everything's hidden away because that's how I like it, but it's really loose and laid back. But if you're someone like my husband who's a cricket, he loves having filing cabinets and file boxes where everything is really detailed. Knowing yourself, understanding how your brain works is so important when it comes to managing your paperwork. Not just knowing if you're detailed or laid back, but also knowing if you're visual or hidden. Because if you're the type of person who is out of sight, out of mind, and you're putting your paid bills in a folder on your desk or a pile on your desk, piles are horizontal as hidden, you're going to forget to pay it. So make sure that your system is really visual. You want magazine racks hung right on the wall. You want something on your desk that's really vertical, because vertical means visual, so you can see it as that reminder to your brain. Know yourself before you even think about setting up a paper system. And I'm gonna put a link down below to a video with my 5 paper sort. I think it's a really great way to get a handle on your paperwork, and you should definitely check that out. Lastly is your command center. A command center is one of the most critical spots to know your organizing style, but it's also something that you might not have in your home, but you should have. Okay, so here's a pop quiz. Where do you put the wedding invitation that you get? And it's in 3 months, it comes in the mail. Where do you put it in the meantime? Or you get like a lab rec and you need some blood work. Where does that go? Or a new recipe that your friend gave you, you want to try. Or the calendar for garbage pickup, or your kids come home with artwork, things that need to be signed from the teacher, or special memories. All of this stuff very often becomes a big old pile on your kitchen counter or in your entranceway or on your kitchen table. And that is why you need a command center. But it's also really important to understand how you naturally organize so your command center can catch that clutter so you're not just putting it down. I'm a ladybug, I am a hidden organizer, so I need hidden storage. I love having a basket just like this on the counter that I literally toss those things I need to deal with in. I know that everything's in here, it's contained, but again, it's hidden. But my favorite way to have a command center is actually a household management binder. This is where I keep schedules and my kids' soccer schedule and their school schedule, important contact information, recipes I want to try. All the things that normally are on the front of a fridge with a bunch of magnets, I keep in my household management binder, and I keep it right here in the kitchen so I don't have clutter on my counter. If you're a visual organizer, your command center should be really visual. So hanging things up on the wall like magazine racks or paper folders, having a big bulletin board or magnetic or push pin board is perfect for your command center. I really recommend getting it off the fridge and giving it a dedicated home that's really close to where you naturally pile. So if you're piling on the kitchen counter, hang it right above the kitchen counter, or clear off a spot on the wall and hang it right there. This is going to stop you from putting it down because now you can just put it away, but it's still really visual, so it's that cue to remind you. If you have a lot of memory items that end up on the counter, another quick recommendation is having a bin or a basket in your entranceway just for memories. You can just toss all the memories in there for now, and then once a year, go through it, sort it, and organize everything into memory folders or memory bins for each of your different family members. It's having these little systems in place and making sure that those systems complement how you naturally organize, which means how you naturally put things down. That's the secret to having a home that's always tidy and clutter-free. And I'm gonna put links down below to lots of Pinterest boards with a million different command centers so you can get inspired to create one of these in your home today. If you don't know your organizing style or you're looking for more tips that fit your needs, go to clutterbug.com, take that quiz, find out your style, and get a ton of tips and tricks and lots of ideas and inspirations for your home. Thanks so much. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have stayed to the end. I gotta share a quick story of why I can't have friends or talk to other human beings. I am so socially awkward, and I have this horrible thing where words come out of my face and I'm hearing them for the first time too. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think before I speak, especially if I'm nervous. It's like, what is coming out of my face? So anyways, I was getting groceries out of the car and a lady came over and introduced herself. She was a neighbor. Now here's the backstory. We bought this house from a lovely couple. They're about 10 years older than Joe and I, and he said that his mom and his sister live next door. They have like the two houses next door because this was all farmland that his family owned. So when this lovely neighbor came over and introduced herself to me, I was like, oh, you must be so-and-so's mom. It's really nice to meet you. And she made a face like I had punched her in the face and said, no, I'm his little sister. Our mom is 94. She was my age. She didn't look in her 90s either. I should have known. Obviously, she's the sister. I don't know why I said it was the mother. I don't know what I was thinking. It just fell out of my face, and now she hates me, and I called her old, and it's basically karma for that guy asking if I was Joe's mother. This is karma. It has come full circle, and now I have to hide my head in shame every time I leave the house to go grocery shopping. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys next time.